All right, I'm here with my buddy Baxter. In this video, we're gonna go over some tips that you can use if you have a dog that's reactive when people come and visit, or some of the sounds that precede people visiting. So Baxter gets to go with his guardian to work. This is his work area. And there's a door just right over here off camera, and this is a design shop, so there's a lot of deliveries. Baxter gets very worked up when the delivery people come. And so I'm gonna go over some desensitization and counter conditioning exercises. Now, I've got some really high value treats. You can see that Baxter really likes these treats. These are Stewart's freeze-dried beef liver, and I've chopped them up into little tiny pieces. You wanna use the smallest treat that you can get away with and the lowest value treat. For him, the lowest value treat wasn't working, so we're using a high value treat, but we're just chopping it up in little tiny bits about pea size or shorter or smaller. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little desensitization and counter conditioning. So the Guardian here, when somebody buzzes the door, the phones in the entire office ring. Now, Baxter is triggered by that, but also usually the UPS people come in, the door is just right outside this wall, so he can hear it. I'm guessing that he hears the UPS truck pull up, the door sliding open, the guy moving boxes, stepping towards the door, and then pressing the buzzer. So the Guardian would like to, ideally what we'd like to do is get a recording of that stuff going on, as well as what we're gonna do right here. So I'm gonna have the Guardian go ahead and he's gonna trigger that response. And so you're gonna hear the phones ring here in a sec. I've got a treat ready to go. It's almost at his lips. There you go. So I'm giving him a treat while this phone is ringing. And so we're basically pairing the treat with the phone ringing. Now, we also didn't have the truck and all the rest of that stuff, so you can stop the ringing now. So usually he says about 2 or 3 rings is what happens, and he gets up and goes and opens the door and lets somebody in. Now, that's something we need to break down and recreate as well. Now, for this first stage, what I'd like the Guardian to do is get a recording on his phone of the telephones in the office ringing, so that we can have basically practice at home. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play that sound at, so I would have it be ring, ring, and then about 10 seconds of silence, then ring, ring. If you're using the voice memo phone on your app on your phone, you should be able to record those 2 rings, pause it, stop the phone from ringing, or just hang the phone up, let it go 2 seconds and call it again. But we'd like ring, ring, about 10 seconds of silence, ring, ring, 10 seconds of silence, and just basically on a loop. We want to do that so that we can have Baxter listening to that while he's eating. Now, if Baxter stops eating, that means the volume is too high. We want to find as high a volume as we can get away with, but where Baxter will continue to eat. So now we're making the sound that means that invaders are coming into a positive for him. Now, gradually, the Guardian is going to play that song at audio track louder and louder until eventually it sounds just as loud as it does here, and Baxter's eating his food without any fanfare or any issues. Now, the next stage we would like to do is get the recording of the trucks coming up. So I just would watch for a UPS truck, a FedEx truck, DHL if they deliver to you guys, and be out there with your phone. Have your phone pointed, the mic pointed towards them, and just as the truck's pulling up, I know it's going to be a little bit difficult to find, but hopefully you can find a delivery, or ask the delivery driver, hey, when you come by tomorrow, could you text me when you're on your way? And then you're ready there with your phone. So you want to basically have the phone pointed in that direction, the truck pulls up, you're already recording. So the recording has the truck pulling up, the driver opening the door, all the subsequent sounds that are related to it, and then going up and pressing the buzzer. You're going to do the same thing at home. I would do the ringing first, but then I would do the ringing, then I would do the recording of the truck pulling up by itself until you can get pretty much the full volume and Baxter's eating his food without any issues. Then I would combine them, because that's typically what happens. Baxter hears the truck pull up, then he hears the ring. So we want to desensitize them separately. And then eventually, Baxter, come here, buddy. Baxter's trying to get something that's out of his reach. And so eventually we want to have the truck pulling up, then a ring, ring, and then about 10 seconds silence, and that same thing. And you're going to do the same thing. He's going to eat his meal while he's listening to that stuff until you eventually raise the volume until it's full blast. Now, the last element of this is the Guardian actually gets up to go and open the door. Now, this might be something you might want to have your coworkers help you out with. When they come back from lunch, have them go to the back door and buzz it, just like what really happens. Now, when that happens, what you want to do is I would have like maybe a lick mat. Ideal situation where we'd have somebody here, Baxter, come here, buddy, who's giving him treats while the guardian gets up and goes to the door. Now, Baxter is definitely a daddy's boy, and when his guardian went up and walked away, Baxter got a little bit on edge. So that might be also something that we do is maybe the partner over here could be giving him treats, and I'm gonna have you go ahead and get up and just walk past the camera, just right behind Baxter. There you go. Keep going. Yep. There you go. And turn around and come back and go sit down. So what I'm doing is when he's going in that direction, I gave him a treat, and then he turned around and came back, and nobody came in the place of employment. Baxter, oh, let's do that again. There you go. All right, now come back, and we're gonna do it one more time. Now he's gonna call the phone, and so we're gonna simulate somebody at the desk. Baxter, come here. So you're gonna call that. Just go ahead and sit down, and then as soon as it rings, you're gonna get up and go like you're gonna answer the door. And come on back. So now ideally we'd like to desensitize these things first, then we're going to add this in. But now basically, so I've desensitized the ringing of the phone, I've desensitized the sound of the truck, the combination of the ringing of the phone and the sound of the truck, and now my human getting up and walking to the door while somebody here is giving him a treat. Now you could also get like a lick mat with peanut butter or cream cheese on it and put it on the floor here so he's licking that. We want to provide something that's positive and also distracting, so that Baxter kind of gets used to just hanging out here. Right now, he kind of runs over here. He's on a tethered leash, and he gets to about here, and he stops. And then he's waiting, and if he sees a delivery person, he barks like crazy. So what we're going to do is desensitize him and counter condition for all these things. And then basically the last step is I would like to, and I'm going to have the guardian who's going to change the camera for me if you want to come around here and grab it. And I'll kind of show you what we're going to do. So basically, yeah, pick it up and just kind of watch the front and film me. There you go. So this is where all the deliveries are left. This is where the door is, about 12 paces here. So what I would basically do is get a little vessel that you can put the Stewart's freeze-dried beef liver in here. So just stay right there with the camera. So let's say that somebody comes in, they open the door, they come over here, they drop off a package, and then they toss a couple of treats to Baxter, and then they leave. So now we don't want Baxter to bark. If Baxter barks, they should not throw the treats, because then we're kind of reinforcing barking, gets treats, and then the person goes away. The person going away is really the reward. That's what he's trying to achieve. So we want to do all the other steps so that he's not worked up, he's not getting his engine revving every time he hears the phone ringing. And then when the person comes in, Baxter is pretty content licking that lick mat, and they put the package down, grab a handful of these, sprinkle the treats. Make sure you throw them well enough so that he can get them while he's on his tether, and then leave. What I might also have you do is have other people in the office do the same thing. Maybe I would have a lower value treat for those though. So he gets maybe the tricky trainer treats when it's a regular staffer. So it's your partner behind you, the camera there, comes in, grabs a handful, throws them in. So he just gets used to it. The door opening, people come over here, and then it rains treats, without it being the scary delivery person. So we're kind of setting him up and helping get in a pattern or practice. Then eventually, all these things have been desensitized. When I come in, then the delivery people throw me treats. They're here to deliver me treats. They're not here to be barked at or lunged at or anything. What we're trying to do is basically change Baxter's emotional response. You can follow me. And so you just stay right there. So this way, when Baxter comes in, he looks at it as a positive thing when people come in, as opposed to something I need to bark or defend the shop at. How about a sit? I know this isn't a good treat. You want the better treats to perform on camera? He's like, well, it's a SAG strike. I don't know if I want to perform on camera at all. I'm not a scab. Sit. Well, this is my buddy Baxter. And these are some tips that you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to people who come and visit you at work.